أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. صلاة الله وسلامه على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. إخوة الإيمان، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, whose out of His mercy He has preserved our lives till this moment. We ask Him, may He continue to preserve our lives. We bear witness that none deserves to be worshipped except Allah, and also we testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His prophet and messenger. May His peace and blessings be upon Him, His families, His companions, and whoever among us treading their footsteps till the day of resurrection. First and foremost, this is our first Halqah at Al-Fursoh School of Arabic and Islamic Studies. We ask Almighty Allah to continue to be with us and guide us till by His grace we will complete the text that we have decided to explain to new students. And also I ask Almighty Allah to make it a beneficial knowledge for every one of us. As we have promised, the book that will be used, its name is Al-Mulakh-khas fi Sharhi Kitaab At-Taoheed. What did I call the name? Al-Mulakh-khas fi Sharhi Kitaab At-Taoheed. It means the summary of the explanation of the book of Tawheed. For us to be one of Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, it is incumbent, it is compulsory on us to pass through this book. I ask Almighty Allah to reward the author of this book in person of Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah. May Almighty Allah forgive him and grant him Jannat al-Firdaus. This book is very, very essential. So whoever wants to know who is Allah and who is the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and what is Islam. The author really tried, and alhamdulillah, I can say it confidently that I came across this book, though in English, in 1994. That was the first time I studied the book from the beginning to the end, to the extent that I had to write it down with my own hand from the beginning to the end, because there was no money to buy. In fact, there was no copy of that book, and there was no money to make the photocopy. But alhamdulillah, today I can boldly say it that I have more than 5 or 6 copies of this Kitab At-Taoheed of various authors. that is explained by different scholars. This one, in my presence, was written by Fadilatul Sheikh Sharhi Kitaab At-Taoheed. He wrote the first one before this. We call the book I'anatul Mustafid, the Sharhi Kitaab At-Taoheed. It was that one that this Sheikh summarized again. He was the one that did the explanation in detail. I have it in our library here. And to make it easier for the student to understand, that was the reason why he wrote this copy. May Almighty Allah reward our Sheikh enormously. I also have Fatihul Majid, written by one of the progenies of the major author. There is Fatihul Al-Mubin. It is still this sharing explanation of Kitab At-Taoheed, written by Sheikh Muhammad bin Saleh Al-Husayy, rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah. There is Kitab At-Taoheed explained by Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz, rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah. And one was written by another famous scholar, which I have forgotten his name. May Allah forgive him as well. So we have many forms of this Kitab At-Taoheed, to the extent that it was segmentalized from nursery up till university level in Saudi Arabia. You will pass through this Kitab At-Taoheed, which in our own curriculum here at Madrasatu Al-Fursoh, the Dirasat Al-Arabiyya wal-Islamiyya, is also part of our curriculum. That is the book that you are using for Tawheed. It was extracted, and they treat the book in the way that nursery pupils, primary school pupils, secondary school pupils will be able to get the message contained in that book. Allah has blessed the book, and Allah has blessed the author. May Allah bless with the readers. Now, without wasting much of our time, Kitab At-Taoheed. You all know the meaning of Kitab. Isn't it? Book. Whether it's big or small. Though in Arabic language, there is a way of saying or naming small book. We can call it Kutaib. That is small book or a risala. But this one beyond a small book. And inshallah ta'ala, this Kitab At-Taoheed is one of our curriculum that before you will finish your Indadiya, you have to memorize it from the beginning to the end. By the time that you understand the meaning in detail, you will know that your life and the hereafter are secured. When we were like you, we didn't have opportunity of this book in our own madrasa. That is the reason why majority of our colleagues or our seniors that did not pass through this book and its life, you will see them carrying out fetish with their knowledge of Islam, that we call them Afa-Uni-Jalabi, because they lack this Tawheed. It is this, the knowledge of Tawheed, that emancipated us from doing what they are doing presently. It is the knowledge of Tawheed. Because in this book, you will learn that doing fortune telling it is haram. Using shams, amulets, sorceries, etc. They are all forbidden for us in Islam. You will learn it from this book. Those things that can remove us totally from Islam, the author included everything in this book for us to benefit from. May Almighty Allah make us to benefit from this Kitab At-Taoheed. Now, At-Taoheed. At-Taoheed. What is the meaning of Taoheed? It simply means to unify Allah, or to accept that Allah is one and only. And when we say Allah, 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 it means God, Lord, Provider, Protector, the one who gives us life, and the one who can take away our souls. Everything are included under what? At-Taoheed. That is the reason why the good scholars, they will say At-Taoheed awwalan. That is, if you want to teach the children, or you want to preach Islam, or you want to teach the students, before you could lay your mouth on any teaching in Islam, At-Taoheed awwalan. Tawheed should be the first, because it will reshape the lives of the children, or the Muslims, or the students. Without Tawheed, you will live a kind of remorseful life on earth. And in the hereafter, if you don't die upon Tawheed, you will enter hellfire for life. Because of these two things now, does it not worth it to start our lectures or our training with Tawheed? I didn't think that when Islam arrived in Nigeria, it came along with this correct Tawheed. We wouldn't have seen any acclaimed Afa practicing jalabi or fetish or occultism, etc. But because Islam entered Nigeria through those who lack the proper knowledge of Tawheed, we acknowledge their efforts. They tried. Their rewards are with Allah. But based on the knowledge of Tawheed, if we weigh what they did for us, we can also claim that they did back to us as they brought Islam to us. But we cannot blame them. They cannot give what they don't have. As some the scholars of Kenya used to say, someone who lacks something cannot give it to others. So what you don't know, you can't teach others. But we still have to thank Allah for preserving our lives in this moment, so that He gave us opportunity to meet the scholars of Tawheed, which will eventually benefit from their knowledge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us to die upon this Tawheed. Because if you lack Tawheed and you enter the grave, we can never be brothers and sisters again. That is the end. Those who believe in the oneness of Allah and dies upon it, they will enter paradise, irrespective of the sins they might have committed on earth. Once they die as a Muslim, because that is the meaning of still a Muslim. When you die upon Tawheed, you are a Muslim. But if you die on the opposite of Tawheed, you die as a kafir. So there will be honor for you in the hereafter, and you will suffer for the everlasting punishment in the hell. May Allah not count us among those who will enter hellfire. That is the reason why, as students of knowledge, don't play with Taoheed. Don't play with what? With Taoheed. So by the time that we start memorizing that book, the meaning will follow as usual. As we did during the time that we were memorizing the book titled Al-Usul Salata and Shurut Salat and Lamia of Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, to all learn their meanings alone, yes or no? So also inshallah ta'ala, we are going to do for this Tawheed book. Because there is no benefit in memorizing it from the beginning to the end without knowing what you have memorized. So that is that. In our madrasa here, whatever you will memorize, you must know the meaning. And that is how we are doing with the Quran as well. Yes or no?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Because many people, they will be claiming that, I know how to read Quran from the beginning to the end. In fact, I've memorized the half of the Quran. Some have memorized the complete Quran. But when you now ask them, okay, read this verse and tell me the meaning, you will see them looking at you. There is no benefit in that. So whatever you have memorized, you must know the meaning. So, we'll start reading the book from the beginning. Kitaab At-Taoheed. The writer wrote, وَقَوْلِ تَعَالَى أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Surah Al-Bayyāniy, verse 56. Almighty Allah says that I didn't create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. So, know the meaning of that. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. This verse is teaching us the importance of creation. The reason why Allah created the jinns and mankind. He didn't create us to be on earth to be playing. He didn't create us to do anything on earth, but what? To worship Him alone, without associating any partner with Him. So if you know the reason why you are on earth, you won't fail to carry out that duty diligently. But those who fail to worship Allah, they are forgetting the reason why they were created. They have missed the road. They are all detract. So when you see someone who is worshiping another thing, but not Allah, or associate partners with Allah, that person does not know the reason why he was created. That is the simple analysis. It is as if you don't know the reason why you are going to school, will you continue to go to school?
No.
If you know that you need this knowledge, even if someone discourages you not to go to school, will you heed to his instruction or his advice?
No.
No, because you know why you are going there. That is what we need to apply into our life as well. If not for the purpose of creation, you will not be on earth. So shame on those who fail to worship Allah alone. A big shame. Let me put it like that. Our Yoruba English here. A big shame is on them. And a big shame on those who associate partners with Allah as well. Because both are sins before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is either you are an atheist, you don't believe in the existence of Allah, and you don't worship anything, or you become a what? What do we call it? Polytheists. Polytheists are those who believe in the existence of Allah and they are aware that He is God to be worshipped, but they also worship another thing besides Him. They are polytheists. And another type of politics or polytheism is that you don't worship Allah, but you worship something else. Like those who are worshiping the ions, those who are worshiping water, river, mountain, stars, moon, sun. Some are worshiping human beings. Some are worshiping animals. Some human beings are worshiping the angels and the jinn. Worshiping any other thing besides Allah or apart from Allah is what is called idolatry. And anybody that dies upon that will not see the mercy of Allah in the grave. And on the day of judgment, he will be among those who blame themselves for not yielding to the instructions of Allah while they were on earth. Now, according to the explanation written by Sheikh Sharhi Kitaab At-Taoheed, they now say, he wrote that At-Taoheed masdaru wa adaw hay ja'alahu wahida. It means that make Allah to be one. You should unify Allah. You should accept that Allah is one and only. He is neither two nor three. We have only one God called Allah. Wal-Mulakh-khas that the meaning here, the intended meaning here is that Ifradullahi fil ibadah. You should unify Allah in the act of worship. That you should accept that Allah is one whenever you want to do what? You want to worship. Olakunle, according to the fact, Al-Khalqu huwa ibda'u shay'in min ghayri aslin wala intiza'i. That is, Al-Khalqu is to create something without having the beginning. That is, there was none that has done such before Allah. Nobody has ever created human being like ours. Nobody has ever created the jinns. Even not only these two big creations. Who created the angels? Allah. Who created the sun, moon, stars, rivers, mountains, trees, air, fire, rain, sand. All these were created by Allah. So that's the reason why it started with Olakunle. Allah is the sole creator of everything. We don't have any other creator apart from Allah. And Allah does not have beginning and end. Don't join those who are claiming that someone is Alpha and Omega. That is the kalimatul kufr. Is that clear? Allah doesn't have beginning and won't have end. لِيَعْبُدُونَ Al-Ibadah belongs when you hear Al-Ibadah, in English, it simply means act of worship. Is that clear? But in Arabic is more vast, is wider than any other language in the world. Only one word in Arabic, if you want to explain its meaning, it can take you 2 or 3 sentences before you could explain that meaning. Now, Al-Ibadah means Atadallul wal-Qudur. Atadallul wal-Qudur, which means to be humble, humility, or lowering oneself. That's the meaning of Al-Ibadah in Arabic. Shari'an, and according to the Islamic meaning, which we class as technical meaning, Ismun Jami'un liman yuhibbu Allah wa yardah. Whenever you are mentioning Al-Ibadah, listen to the detailed meaning, definition of Al-Ibadah according to the Islamic meaning or Islamic law. Ismun Jami'. It is the word, it is the name which encompasses لِمَا يُحِبُّهُ اللَّهُ. What Allah loves, وَيَرْضَاهُ, and Allah is pleased with, مِنَ الْأَقْوَالِ, in terms of statements, وَالْأَعْمَالِ, and actions, الظَّاهِرَةِ وَالْبَاطِنَةِ, the glaring one, that is the visible, the words that we can hear, or the one that we can say, that is al-zahira. Once you say it, someone hears it. Wal-batina, all the words that we say, but no one can hear us except Allah. Wal-a'mal al-zahira wal-batina, and there are some actions that people can see us performing or not. That is glaring and hidden. That is what we call al-ibadah. Now, don't forget the characteristics of ibadah. One is that Allah must love that thing. If Allah doesn't love that word or action, it can't be regarded as what? Ibadah. Allah must be pleased with such actions or words. If Allah does not please with it, you can't regard it as ibadah. It can be in form of what? Words or actions. So these are what Allah will judge us with, our words and actions, whether we say it outside or it is hidden. وَالْمَعْنَى الْإِجْمَالِ لِلْآيَةِ. Our Sheikh now wants to tell us the full meaning, the comprehensive meaning of the past mentioned above. That's وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. أن الله تعالى أخبر أنه ما خلق الإنسان والجن إلا لعبادته. Verily, the Almighty Allah informs that He didn't create the jinn. The jinn in English, we can call it demon or demon. Demon, that is jinn. And also humankind, illa li'ibadati, except for his worship. That was why Allah created us. فَإِيَّا بَيَانٌ لِلْحِكْمَةِ فِي خَلْقِهِ. This is an explanation for the wisdom behind their creations. That is the wisdom. So when you are asked, the mother, Allah, why did Allah create you? Your answer should be what? خَلَقَنِيَ اللَّهُ لِعِبَادَتِهِ وَحْدَهُ. Allah created me to worship Him alone. That's the simple answer. And you can see it in the curriculum of the Taoheed, our elementary class. The mother, خَلَقَنَا اللَّهُ. Why did Allah create us? خَلَقَنَا اللَّهُ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. That's the simple answer. فَلَمْ يَرِدْ مِنْهُ مَا تُرِيدُهُ السَّادَةُ مِنْ عَبِيدِهَا. Our Sheikh Sharhi Kitaab wrote here that Allah did not want what the masters on earth expect from their slaves. Do you know what the masters expect from their slaves? Just to worship, to serve them everything. Even if they want to sleep, the boss can ask the slave to sleep on the floor, and the master will lie down on his stomach. Have you heard it before in Yoruba land? Ayékáyé tí àwọn ọba máa ń jẹ nígbà yẹn nìyẹn. When the king want to do something, he can just tell someone that what I want as a gift is the head of so person, and they will behead the person and bring his head or her head to the palace for the king. So ayé ìjẹkújẹ they lead a kind of reckless lives. And Allah does not want anything from us apart from what? To worship Him. And worshiping Him is easy for us, except only those who have hard mind that Shaitan has played with their brains. Those are the people that will see act of worship as difficult issue in their life. May Allah not make us among them. And according to what our Sheikh wrote here, is that the leaders, the boss, among what they expect from their servants or their workers is that really they want help from them, like provision or feeding. They can tell, oh yeah, go and work and bring what I will eat for me. That is how the masters act on their slaves. But Allah does not want any provision from us. Likewise, He doesn't expect us to feed Him. He analyzed that in the part that follows Sharhi Kitaab verse 57. Ma uridu minkum min rizqin wa la uridu an yut'imun. I didn't want provision from you, likewise feeding. Inna Allah dhul quwwati al-matin. Surely Allah is the one that has absolute power, and He is the most perfect God. So we can, even with Him, we can provide things for Him. How can we reach Him? Even if we think that we can feed Allah, we can provide food for Him. How can we reach Him? There is no how. So the only thing He wants from us is to worship Him. May Allah count us among the slaves that will be worshiping Allah sincerely. وَإِنَّمَا أَرَادَ الْمَصْلَحَةَ لَهُ. The only thing Allah wants is goodness, good things for us. Good things. He knows that the only thing that can make us to be saved from the torment of the grave and from the chastisement of the hereafter is by worshiping Him and die upon it. If you don't worship Allah till death, you will face everlasting torment in the grave. Then there will be a kind of dig that is the earth will be tightened with your bones in the graves. The angels will be beating you in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night, till the day of resurrection. And once Allah has resurrected us, on the day of judgment, you will eventually know where you are going to. You that you have been punished in the graves, definitely on the day of judgment, you will also be punished. That is automatic. May Allah save us from the punishment of the grave and the torment of the hereafter. Ikhwat al-Iman, munasabatul ayati lil-ba'. One of the goodness of this book is that after the sharing, the brief explanation, our Sheikh Abidullah now analyze the lessons that we can learn from this particular topic, or the affairs, the current affairs that has to do with the verse mentioned in this book. Now, أنها تدل على وجوب التوحيد. The verse shows that believing in the oneness of Allah is compulsory. In the لأنه ما خلق الجن والإنس إلا لأجل ذلك, because he didn't create the jinn and mankind except to worship him. Now, what is the value in the ayah? What are those things that we cannot learn from the verse? One, وجوب إفراد الله بالعبادة على جميع الأقلام. That is, it is compulsory on the two giant creatures, which are jinn and mankind, that we worship Allah. We exemplify him in the act of worship. We must not worship the iron, we must not worship the river, mountains, sun, moon, stars, fire, human beings, angels, jinns, trees. We must stay away from worshiping any other thing apart from Allah. That is one. Number two, Bayanu al-hikmati min khalqil jinn wal ins. We can also deduce, we can learn from this verse the explanation behind the wisdom of creating the demon, the jinn, and mankind. Number three, أن الخالق هو الذي يستحق العبادة دون غيره ممن لا يقوم. That is, it is the creator that is entitled to be worshipped. Who is the creator? I'm referring to Allah. He alone deserves to be worshipped. And those people or those things that cannot create, they don't deserve to be worshipped. Angels cannot create, jinns cannot create, mankind cannot create, animals cannot create, water or river cannot create, mountain cannot create, sun cannot create, moon, stars, trees, all these cannot create anything. But they themselves were creatures of Allah. They were created by Allah. Allah created them all. It is not even reasonable when you abandon the Creator and worship what? The creatures. It is purely insanity. When you abandon Allah, who created everything, and you are now running after the creatures, what benefits can your fellow human being do for you that Allah has not done greater than that? Your being on earth depended on His will. Allah will it. If He didn't will it, He will not be on earth. So that is the reason why reasonable people worship Allah, while unreasonable people worship their fellow human beings or other creatures. So I hope you all got the message clearly.
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Now, فَكِهَذَا رَدٌّ عَلَى عُبَادِ الْأَصْنَامِ وَغَيْرِهَا. So in this statement, we cannot deduce that it has reputed worshiping the idols. If it is the Creator that is entitled, that deserves to be worshipped, it means that we must not worship al-asnam, the idols. The idols. Anything apart from Allah that people are worshiping is regarded as what? Idol. Even if it is a man or woman, or tree, or stone, or rock, or river, or sun or moon, it is called what? Idol. Number 4, Bayanu din Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Halqah. From this verse, we can also learn that Allah is independent of us. Allah does not need anything from us. Even despite the fact that He commands us to kill ram during Eid al-Adha, He doesn't need the blood or the flesh or the bone or the fur or the horn of that animal. What He only needs is what? The intention that we have when we kill such animal. So Allah is independent of us, but we are not independent of Allah. Or are you independent of Allah? You don't need Allah in your life. We need Him, but He doesn't need us. If you are looking for something to eat, who will you ask? If you need egg, who will you ask? If you need provision, who will you ask? If you still want to be on earth, who will you ask? If you want to succeed in your course of study, who will you ask? Allah. If you want to be saved from the punishment of the grave, who will you ask? If you want to enter paradise, who will you ask? Allah. Does Allah need us before He will do anything? No. So this verse also reveals Hajatul Halq ilayh, that we need Him. Our survival depends on Allah. I mean that He didn't create all what we eat, all what we drink, and He didn't provide air for us to breathe with. To be on this life, on earth, will be difficult for us. In fact, we will have died before now. لأنه هو الخالق وهو المخلوق وهو مخلوقون, because He is the creator and we are His creatures or creations. So we need Him, He doesn't need us. And lastly, إثبات الحكمة في أفعال الله سبحانه. This verse also establishes the wisdom of the actions of Allah during the Eid. That whatever Allah has done, there is wisdom behind it. For making us human beings, there is wisdom. For making the jinns and how they are, there is hikmah in it, wisdom. For creating the angels and how they are, and from what He likes, there is hikmah. Likewise, all other creatures that He created, there are wisdoms behind the creation. Allah did not create all these things without a particular wisdom. I ask Almighty Allah to make this lecture to be a beneficial one for every one of us in this life and in the hereafter. Inshallah ta'ala, we shall continue from where we stop next week, Sunday. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la